17th of February this year, totally fed up with always feeling sore in my nether regions during and after rides. For all the years I've been cycling, I took the plunge and went down a different route and looked at the apparent unfashionable amongst road cyclists Brooks range of saddles, but not the famous leather one, as I really don't fancy the apparent breaking in period or having to treat it to keep it in good condition like any other leather product. So I decided to try the Brooks Cambium C-17 made of vulcanized rubber, which, as an aside, has an added benefit of being ideal for vegans who want to try a Brooks saddle. But I care not about fashion or what roadies should use. I have a particular issue that no roadie saddle has ever helped me with. So here are my first thoughts after purchase back in February.
The difference is in the amount of flex, which moves with your body weight and gives a hammock effect. I've gone for the carved option with a cutout. Cutout's a personal preference really, but I prefer them. And I think this actually increases the amount of flex in the saddle. It's a heavy beast at 446 grams, but as I've said before, if I was that bothered about little extra bits of weight, I'd eat less cake. Comfort is king for me right now, so let's get this on a bike and try it out.
So that's it on the bike. This thing feels rock hard. Obviously, I've got to test the flex because that's the whole purpose of it, and I'm hoping that'll make up for it, because at the moment it does feel like I'm sitting on a brick.
Well, this is 24 hours later, and I'm just in from the club bike ride of 47 miles. And the news is that the jury is out regarding the Brooks Cambium C-17 saddle. Towards the end, I was starting to feel uncomfortable, but it's important to point out it was not pain, it was just discomfort. And anyone going on a ride using any kind of saddle is going to feel some discomfort if they were already a bit sore from a previous series of rides as I am.
After 1,100 miles of use, the jury was actually still out, and then something disastrous happened to me. And bear with me, you might wonder why I'm going to talk about this on a saddle review, but believe me, you'll get to realise very shortly that it's very, very relevant. My summer, in preparation for my France end-to-end charity ride in September, was supposed to be one to remember, including training rides in the wonderful French Alps here. But I suffered a horrible back injury at the beginning of June, leaving me in unbelievable pain for weeks and resulting in an enforced layoff from cycling for 8 weeks. At the end of July, although still healing and heavily medicated, I made my first tentative move to get back on the bike, and luckily found that although still walking with difficulty, I actually had no pain whilst pedaling, funnily enough. So here I am, still riding on the same saddle. So what's my verdict? When I was testing the saddle, there were things that kept on getting in the way. You know, I did some indoor charity stuff on a different bike with a different saddle, and there was always something niggling, and my backside was hurting because I was on that other saddle. And it was difficult to really measure how comfortable the Brooks Cambium was. Also, during that period of time, I went with a club and we spent a fantastic time in Spain. But again, I was on a higher bike, different saddle. It was bloody killing me. And I came back with saddle sores again. So again, riding on the Brooks, after that, I wasn't really getting a true picture because I was already sore. Probably the biggest test in early June was we did the tour of Cambridgeshire, and that was 100 miles. Now, if you watched the video I did of the tour of Cambridgeshire, you'll realise that towards the end, when we had our last stop, we were all comparing notes on how sore our backside was. So I don't think it was anything to do with having an unacceptable saddle, shall we say. This layoff for 8 weeks, as much as it's been bloody horrible, and I won't go into detail, that's on a different video, meant that I've just come back. I've literally just finished now my first club bike ride I've done. And we've done nearly 50 miles. And I'm telling you, because my backside hasn't got any other excuse of being hurt by other saddles or other bikes. I've just had a great ride. I felt no pain and it's comfortable, which is hard to believe when at the start how hard it was. It really is a rock hard saddle.
I've just finished another club ride of just about 50 miles, and this really confirms what I said after the last club ride, which was 3 days ago now. In the past, I'd be feeling slightly sore from that ride. There was nothing today, and the comfort on the ride was exactly the same as 3 days ago. Yes, you notice sometimes that the saddle feels a bit hard, but well, that's because it is. This flexibility just has to be doing the trick. I don't feel the flex while I'm sitting on it, but it must be happening.
So here I am now in the beautiful French Alps, 11 weeks after the injury, which is still in the process of healing, but only scarily 5 weeks before I tackle 14 consecutive days across France. And frustratingly, the remaining pain and side effects of the medication, I'm actually struggling to recover in between rides. And so not taking full advantage of the great cycling opportunity provided by being in the Alps. So far from being a summer to remember, all in all, I'd actually say it's been a bit crap. But, oh, the irony, my pain is your gain. The only good thing that's come from my summer, and believe me, it is most definitely the only one, is, as alluded to before, it has allowed, amongst the turmoil, a perfect opportunity for my delicate derriere to recover from sitting on bloody hire bikes, static bikes, and crappy saddles. I've done around 200 miles using the saddle since those last clips, so around 1,300 miles in all, including a famous climb I completed 3 days ago, which took me 1.5 hours to get up. And I'm a sit-down climber. I rarely stand on the pedals to get up. So it's had every kind of ride, from vicious climbs, short rides, club rides, and the 100-mile tour of Cambridgeshire. And the jury is not out anymore. In spite of my pessimism in the beginning about how hard it is, this saddle really works for me. And I'm confidently going to be sitting on it for 14 consecutive days for close on 1,000 miles across France, provided previously mentioned factors don't beat me, of course. If anyone's watching this who's aware of a saddle that has the same flex as a Brooks Cambium, but has a teeny bit of padding rather than the solid brick this saddle is, leave a comment in the comment section below and I might give it a try. But for now, the Brooks Cambium C-17 and the flex that it has must be the reason this saddle is the most comfortable I've ever used. If this has been useful for you, then a like and a comment below would be useful and helpful. Give my website a look, www.ordinaryblokeonabike.co.uk. Subscribe to my channel if you will by clicking on the yellow icon here. And here's a couple more reviews for you to have a look at. Happy cycling, comfortable cycling, and I'll see you soon.